We are circling up here. Today I'll just share a little bit about my wrist just to whatever get I might share this with like the groups whatever and the opening meditation. In the opening meditation, we're going to explore the it doesn't even feel like the shadow side so much, but just the other side of the spheres of wellness. And hi, Anna. And because, life does throw us curveballs, and we do experience things that we didn't consciously choose that disrupt our routine and patterns. And so, how does an unstoppable meet those experiences? So, I have a feeling we'll get some insight in that meditation, and then we can discuss, share. I'm sure, I know we all have, I'm sure, a plethora, a full palette of experiences along those lines, right? And it's really vital because, we're human, and it's why we come to learn and be in this dense physical body. So on my birthday, we were all paragliding, and the idea was to all land at the end of the day on this meadow. Hi, Susan. Um, this moraine landing that we use when the water's too high for us to land at the lake. And so that ended up being pretty perfect. But so I had already done two flights. I top landed for the first time, which means you land up on the mountain where you launch. And that was a first. So I was like feeling super stoked. And I had this like super styling landing coming in. This woman videoed the whole thing. So I have the video of the good landing and the bad landing, which I haven't even looked at the bad landing yet. And then I flew down to the moraine, and my son Mason and Riley were there. Riley had just gotten off the river, so she wasn't flying. And there's this weed whacked rectangle about, I don't know, maybe 15 or 20 by 50, a decent size area, where we're, the goal is to land in that area, but the whole area is kind of wavy and whatever. So when you're coming in, a lot of times there's lifting air and it's hard to land right there. So Todd and two of the students who are learning were up on top of the moraine. And so he's on the radio, like, everybody has to spot land, and practice good landings and da da da. And I'm flying, and I'm like, Jesus. And he kept going, right? And I'm like, stop with the challenge, right? I'm going to land safely, whatever. But then I was like, I have to spot land. It's my birthday. So I gave away pilot in command, which is a phrase in paragliding, right? Which is a theme. And so I was like determined to spot land, and the wind was coming a little cross. So I'm lined up like along the hill rather than coming in, parallel with the hill. And I was deep in the brakes to try and go down. And then I started flapping deep in the brakes, which I never flap. You like literally flap the wing to go down. And so I was deep in the brakes and flapped. So my whole wing just stalled behind me and pulled me down onto the ground. And apparently my wrist hit first, which I think might have helped save my back, which is still sore, but whole. So that's really good. The amazing things were that everybody was landing there. Hi, Heidi. I had not only my son there, but I had 8 strapping young men there. We had lots of beverages and food. One of the pilots had like hydrocodone. Another one had Advil. Like, I was drugged up and fed and cranberry juice, and I'm sitting there, and everyone's landing, and like I didn't cry until like the next day or something. And then we called the ambulance, and they carried me down on the backboard, which was hysterical. And they couldn't have done it without all the strapping young men, because these were like firefighters with bellies that were not gonna would not have been able to carry me down. So anyway, it was quite an experience. The bone was actually completely broken and off, the big bone. And so they told me in the hospital that they were gonna have to reset it. And I was just like, that sounds painful. I mean, ladies, it was comparable, if not worse than childbirth. I'm pretty, yeah, broken bones. I'm sure some of you have experienced it. No joke. And my fingers were turning blue because, things are out of alignment. So they're like, well, we can put a topical, like numbing, like Novocaine kind of stuff, or we can put you to sleep. I'm like, ooh, put me to sleep. And that was like the most blissful experience. I haven't had that since I got my wisdom teeth out when I was 24. And oh my gosh, I came out of that just like, you all are so magical and wonderful. And like my bone felt all aligned and it was swaddled in this splint, this beautiful, like, it was just, I was so happy. So happy. So that was pretty funny. And then I get a call. We went to the doctor and she's like, just warning you, he's probably going to want to do surgery. We actually have a surgeon, an orthopedic surgeon in the county, which is crazy. This county is 7,000 people, which includes an orthopedic surgeon, which is pretty cool. So he's like, yeah, it would be a disaster to not operate. So it's been a week and a day, 4-hour surgery, a plate, and 10 screws. So I'm feeling kind of Bionic Woman. You guys watch Bionic Woman growing up? Anyway. I've been like tempted to look on YouTube just for the intro, right? Because, I watch so much Lindsay Wagner. Yeah, so it's been interesting. It's been, a roller coaster ride. And along the way, these like moments of, I am not my body, and like witnessing the pain and appreciating the full spectrum richness of being in a body, and then of course I've cried and said, why didn't I just land properly? Like it would have been so easy to just be like, yeah, no, I'm not spot landing today. I'm just gonna land. So it's been the full gamut, and I think there's a lot that I will continue to learn from this. But the whole pilot and command thing, how it's so easy to override our own instincts or our own wisdom or our own desires because of what the outside input is giving us. And there's so much crazy numerology with July 1st, 2022. July 1st, 2015 is when I met Todd, which began the whole paragliding thing. 7 years before that was the horseback riding fall, where I fractured my pelvis and sacrum in 6 places when I was married, and I definitely was not pilot in command at that point, right? So it's like interesting things. 10 years ago on my birthday, I was still living at the ranch, but, I was fully in divorce mode and everybody knew it. And so that was pretty traumatic. So it's going to be an interesting energetic bookmark, as I call these experiences, to look back. My tarot card for this month was the Great Wheel in the Starseed Tarot, which is the Chariot, which I am Chariot. That's also my like soul sign or whatever. And it was all about a new cycle beginning. So here we go, right? We are constantly opening and learning and expanding, and this is absolutely part of it. But trust me, I'm not always there, right? So it's an interesting thing to allow your human self to be human, right? To cry and get angry or whatever, and then call in your infinite self to be like, okay, what do I know for sure? And so I've definitely been experiencing that as well. And the tendency to like get all critical of yourself for the moments when you're not in gratitude and not in love and compassion for yourself, right? To still then answer back with love and compassion and courage and all the things. So it's a really interesting place to be. And I appreciate all the well wishes, and it is, after all, it is just a wrist. Could have been so much worse. But, it's also developing compassion for anyone who's ever broken a bone. I have so much compassion for, holy smokes. And so it'll be interesting to continue to witness. So thanks to everyone who's not gotten a comment from me or an email back or anything. It's just been like conserve energy as much as possible and changing every day. So that's good. So I want to start with this meditation, and because I need it personally, and then give everyone a chance to share. I was envisioning going into the studio and the gong and all that, but the studio felt really far away after my nap, and I think it's really hot in there. So it's hot. You'll see me in this shirt a lot because I can get this shirt on and off pretty easy, and it's light. So we're wearing the heck out of this shirt. So I didn't want to go in the hot studio. So we'll pretend we have gong energy. Instead, we have light and tree energy outside. And this is my plant Spike here. So Spike and trees and light are going to accompany us. Okay, so get comfy. Take some deep breaths. Thank you, Anna. Yeah. And if you'd like to close your eyes, you may. Inhale, exhale. And again, just allow the breath to connect you with your body. Feel yourself where you're sitting. Feel the textures of the clothing on your skin, the breeze or the temperature of the air that surrounds you. And this beautiful planet that we are sitting on, surrounded by, being breathed into by the trees and the flowers and the birds and the animals and everything outside that is constantly creating, searching for balance and union to help us live our fullest lives. Together, all of us physicalized. Third rock from the sun, spinning through space with this big, beautiful full moon illuminating the night skies. Maybe you call in that feeling of the upward facing pyramid with the base securely seated on the surface of the earth. And then imagine all this physical energy, like as you inhale, you're inhaling all this beautiful physical energy, and now it's like erupting like a beautiful fountain up, like this fountain of light, up, 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 from the crown of your head, bubbling up into the air above your head, floating, catching the spiraling thermals that take your energy up, up, up into the sky, through the clouds, all the way up, up, up until the sky becomes darker and darker and darker, and the starlight appears. And you feel yourself, however you sense, perceive, receive yourself, just being held, floating, buoyant in this infinite cosmos, this starry sea, where everything's energy, everything is the potential, the possibility, the love. Maybe tap into this feeling of buoyancy, like you're floating, being supported. Like being is effortless in this space. You can imagine anything, you can go anywhere. You can merge into the oneness. Just feel that for now, however you perceive it or receive it. Maybe you sense a color or feel a feeling or see the spaciousness, but it is loving. It is completely supportive. And then with each inhale, imagine yourself having gathered these gifts of awareness from the cosmos, gently floating back, down, down, down. Inhaling yourself back into the present moment, into this body. Perhaps you can envision this light-filled triangle with the tip pointed down, coming down and gently falling into perfect place, perfect union. Yourself in your Metatron's cube, the union of above and below. This place where we can go to connect to ourselves as infinite beings having a human experience, and where we can care for ourselves energetically, nurture ourselves, prepare ourselves, fortify ourselves, strengthen ourselves. Each sphere of wellness spinning, rotating around us, perhaps with color and light, creating this like beautiful woven force field that's here to protect us within our human experience. Not to keep us from our human experience, but to help us to see clearly what this human experience is really about. And so as we connect to each sphere today, we also connect to the wisdom of its wholeness. So we choose now to connect to our sphere of love. And for you personally, what is the flip side of love? What is the contrast to love? It could be hate, it could be like this judgment. Just connect to that for you. And see your sphere of love as a whole, encompassing both love and fear, love and hate, love and ... Two sides of the same coin. As humans, we're not always in love, radiating love, being love. And what if that was okay? How are we meant to experience the wholeness of the sphere of love, which includes the light and the shadow of love? Maybe we've experienced that kind of conditional love, dependent love. And notice what comes up, what feelings, or like it's wrong, or wanting to just run back into the vibration of love. As an infinite being who chooses to physicalize on planet Earth as a human, we come here to experience as much as possible and to truly know love we're probably going to choose to experience the opposite as well. To experience it, to be it, to wrestle with it. Perhaps the wisdom emerges from the union of love and its opposite. And then compassion, the sphere of compassion, the ability to walk a mile in someone else's shoes, to understand rather than to judge, to allow grace, to allow for the making of mistakes, for the words that come out wrong. And the opposite of compassion. What is the mirror of compassion? What is its opposite, or the shadow of compassion? When we judge, when we condemn, when we put someone in a box and put them in the back of the closet. How do those energies feel? How do they feel different? Can you allow your human self to not be compassionate? And then to still choose compassion when you realize the energy, the frequency you're in. How do the shadow sides of these spheres serve to teach us, to expand us, to challenge us, to rise above, to love more unconditionally? Can you find unconditional love for yourself when you witness yourself being judgmental? Of beating yourself up? And then courage, the sphere of wellness that encourages us. That's interesting. Encourages us to follow our hearts, to be courageous, to not follow the challenge to spotland that day, the courage to say no to someone, to risk their judgment or criticism. When have I been weak? When have I said no to things out of fear, out of a lack of courage? Or I've chosen to follow someone else's heart, thinking that maybe that will make things better. And do you have the courage to take a shadow experience and to choose afresh, starting now, how to think about this experience or situation or person? The courage to start afresh each day, the courage to continue to lean into the mystery, even when it feels like it's all you've been doing. Permission to not be courageous, and to be okay with that, to sit there and observe and witness. Perhaps if you're not following your heart, what are you following? And where has that led you? And can we wrap the memories of the times we haven't been courageous in unconditional love, acceptance, and alignment? That feeling of being exactly in the right place and the right time. And can we feel that way even when it feels like we were not in the right place at the right time? When everything goes wrong, how can we bring that into alignment? Is alignment only when we're feeling in flow and love and joy? Or can we feel alignment when we're hurting from physical pain, emotional pain, spiritual pain? Maybe you have judged something as being out of alignment, not serving your highest and greatest good. And what if it is? What if it's preparing you? What if there's something you're learning in this situation, picking up, that you'll need further on in your journey? And then gratitude. Yeah, I love gratitude. But sometimes we feel sorry for ourselves, or we blame others, or we feel the victim. Why does this always happen to me? Is it even possible to be human and not wrestle with those things? Can you be grateful for the times where you've really been starved for gratitude in hindsight? And be that much more grateful now for the knowledge, wisdom gained in that shadow side that has made the light of gratitude even brighter. And then presence. Can you describe the past and the future as shadow? Our minds love to go to the past and the future. Regret, unforgiveness, deeply rooted stories about who we are, what we're good at or not good at, what we've identified with from the past that really no longer exists except for the fact that we choose to bring it into our present every day. And the value of learning from our past, gathering that wisdom like a fall harvest, fruits and vegetables that we worked hard to grow to fruition, that we bring into the present and celebrate. And being human, there is a certain amount of planning ahead that often slips into worry or fear or stress. And it's okay to be a human feeling stressed or worried. And the awareness that's offered, your ability to choose in the present moment, where you allow your thoughts to paint pictures of your reality. Reconnect to yourself at the center, your heart at the center of these spheres of wellness, the sacred geometry that you are. Feel into the expansiveness of this human experience. The full spectrum of being human. It's what we came for. Like painting a canvas with both the light and the shadow. We want both. It creates depth, it creates richness. We want to experience the times and spaces where we're forced to dig deep, when we are more likely to discover new aspects of who we are and what we're capable of. We wouldn't have it any other way. So for you right now, imagine your unstoppable self whispering to you, almost like a voice coming from each of the spheres, or maybe from one in particular. But you receive now something that your unstoppable self wants you to know right now. This is what I want you to know right now. So allow those words of wisdom to be received by your heart. Imagine each sphere with its unique color and light beaming onto your body like a prism. The color and the light dancing all around you. If you look down on your arm or your leg, you'd see the rainbow, sparkly light all over your body, within your body, every cell, the spaciousness within you. the infinite within, the universe that you are. The spaciousness, the possibility. Reconnect to your breath as a way of receiving this healing light and energy. Imagine the light you're inhaling with each breath, the photons that have come all the way from the sun. You as an expression of the infinite, of earth and space, light and matter. Inhale, exhale. And once again, feel yourself wherever you're sitting. Feel the air on your skin. Maybe rotate your shoulders, wiggle your fingers and toes. Whenever you're ready, open your eyes.